Are you tired of wrestling with clunky API testing tools that seem designed to waste your time? Let me introduce you to something that might just change how you work with APIs forever. Today we're diving deep into Insomnia REST Client, and I'm going to show you why this tool has become my go-to choice for API development and testing. Whether you're a seasoned developer or just starting your journey with APIs, understanding how to leverage Insomnia effectively can dramatically speed up your workflow and make API testing actually enjoyable. So what exactly is Insomnia? At its core, it's a cross-platform REST client that allows you to design, debug, and test APIs with an incredibly intuitive interface. But calling it just another REST client would be doing it a disservice. Think of Insomnia as your Swiss Army knife for API development, packed with features that solve real problems developers face every day. Let's start with the interface, because first impressions matter. When you launch Insomnia, you're greeted with a clean, modern design that doesn't overwhelm you with buttons and options. The left sidebar shows your request collections, the center panel is where you build your requests, and the right panel displays your responses. It's logical, it's clean, and most importantly, it gets out of your way so you can focus on what matters. But here's where Insomnia really starts to shine. Let's say you're working with a REST API that requires authentication. In many tools, this becomes a tedious process of copying tokens and headers between requests. Insomnia handles this elegantly with environment variables and authentication templates. You can set up your API key or bearer token once in your environment, and it automatically applies to all requests in that workspace. This isn't just convenient, it's a massive time saver when you're working with dozens or hundreds of API endpoints. Speaking of environments, this feature alone makes Insomnia worth using. You can create separate environments for development, staging, and production, each with their own base URLs, API keys, and configuration variables. Switching between environments is as simple as selecting from a drop-down menu. No more manually editing URLs or accidentally sending test data to your production API because you forgot to change the endpoint. Now let's talk about request organization, because this is where many developers struggle with other tools. Insomnia uses a workspace and folder system that actually makes sense. You can group related requests together, create subfolders for different API versions, and even share workspaces with your team. The search functionality is lightning fast, so finding that specific endpoint you tested last week takes seconds, not minutes of scrolling through endless lists. One of my favorite features is the code generation capability. Once you've crafted the perfect request in Insomnia, you can generate code snippets for virtually any programming language or framework. Need to implement this API call in JavaScript? One click gives you fetch code. Working with Python? Here's your request's library code. This bridges the gap between API testing and actual implementation in a way that feels seamless. The response handling in Insomnia is particularly well thought out. When you send a request, the response is formatted automatically with syntax highlighting. JSON responses are collapsible and searchable, making it easy to navigate through complex nested objects. The response timeline shows you exactly how long each part of the request took, which is invaluable for performance debugging. You can even save responses as examples, creating a living documentation of what your API returns. But what about more advanced features? Insomnia supports GraphQL out of the box, with auto-completion and schema introspection. If you're working with GraphQL APIs, the query builder and variable management make complex queries much more manageable. The tool also handles WebSocket connections, gRPC calls, and even has a built-in JSON schema validator. Testing capabilities deserve special mention here. While Insomnia isn't trying to replace full testing frameworks, it includes solid assertion tools that let you validate responses automatically. You can check status codes, response times, header values, and JSON content. For quick smoke tests or API validation during development, these features are perfect. The plugin ecosystem adds another layer of extensibility. Whether you need custom authentication methods, specialized data formatters, or integration with other tools in your workflow, there's likely a plugin for it. And if there isn't, creating your own plugin is straightforward thanks to the well-documented API. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. How does Insomnia compare to Postman, the tool everyone knows? While Postman certainly has its place and a larger feature set for enterprise scenarios, Insomnia wins on simplicity and performance. It's noticeably faster, especially with large collections of requests. The interface is less cluttered, and the learning curve is gentler. For individual developers and small teams, Insomnia often provides everything you need without the bloat. The pricing model is also refreshingly straightforward. The core application is completely free and includes all the features most developers need. The paid plans add team collaboration features, encrypted data sync, and priority support, but you're never locked out of basic functionality. Here's something that might surprise you about Insomnia's approach to data storage. Unlike some tools that store everything in the cloud by default, Insomnia keeps your data local by default. This means your API keys, request collections, and sensitive data stay on your machine unless you explicitly choose to sync them. For developers working with sensitive APIs or in regulated industries, this privacy-first approach is a significant advantage. So, is Insomnia right for you? If you're looking for a fast, intuitive tool that handles the vast majority of API testing scenarios without unnecessary complexity, absolutely. It's particularly great for developers who want something more powerful than curl but less overwhelming than enterprise API platforms. The fact that it's cross-platform means your workflow stays consistent whether you're on Windows, Mac, or Linux. To wrap up, Insomnia REST Client represents what API tools should be: powerful enough for professional use, simple enough for daily productivity, and thoughtfully designed around real developer needs. It eliminates the friction between having an idea for an API test and actually executing it, which is exactly what a good tool should do. If you found this deep dive helpful and want to see more detailed reviews of developer tools that can actually improve your workflow, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.